Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday, where we talk about the internet's most important topics.
Like today, we're going to be talking about modern samurai class we went to a few weeks ago, which is if you're not familiar, it's a red dot specific, appendix carry even specific class. So first class we've taken this year, and we walked away with just a wealth of knowledge and new things. We just wanted to kind of share with you some of the things that we took away from that class.
Yeah,
we gotta get into this.
We've completely forgotten about the whiskey, which is the
by the way, today,
part.
as we film, is Tuesday, is National Bourbon Day. Today.
Every Tuesday?
Yes.
Yes. No, but really?
Yeah, today's actually National Bourbon Day, so perfect time.
It's also our 16th episode,
to drink some bourbon. I don't remember what number it is.
We're also on an episode.
It's more than that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so today, Four Roses Single Barrel. This is one of my absolute favorites.
That was good.
And I think you're gonna like this. Well, you've technically had it because...
So we've had this before?
We kind of filmed this once before and our mics died.
Yes.
And so we're actually redoing this.
We have no volume indicator on the screen, so we don't know if the mics die.
We don't find out until afterwards.
If it does die this time, we're just gonna post it. And you can just watch us lip sync everything.
Probably should put a backup audio in front of us, but This has only happened to us like 2 or 3 times, right?
2 or 3 times. It's only a 10% occurrence.
We're such hacker noobs.
I know.
All right, so why don't you pour this, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. Four Roses is out of Kentucky. It is a bourbon. This is this is our single barrels. We talked about single barrels before. So each bottle you get, it's going to be a little bit different. One of the cool things about this one is, it says 100 proof, been aged 7 to 9 years, and this is their rye forward mash. Now, what's cool about Four Roses and how they do things is they actually have several different mash bills based on different yeasts that they use. Each one is going to give a different flavor profile, and then they have a rye forward and a corn forward, which means it's a little more rye or a little more corn in that mash bill. So that comes out to like 6 different variations you can have, and then from there you can do single barrel, you can do mixed barrel, whatever. So this is their rye forward, which I love because it's got a little more peppery, a little more spice to it.
Yeah.
Still pretty sweet. I mean, you can still smell the corn in it. This is from their B mash bill.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, so they actually have 5 yeast strains and 2 mash bills. They actually have 10 different options. This is 60% corn, 35% rye, 5% malted barley. The other, the E mash bill is 75% corn, 20% rye. So there's quite a bit.
There's a bit of flip there.
Yeah. Flip there. So let's see what you think. I just had coffee, so I feel like I'm gonna have coffee bourbon.
Yeah.
I like this one.
I like it. It's trying to get my palate right because.
Like I said, I'm switching over from coffee. I had a sip of coffee before I came down the hall, but that's gone now. Now I have the bourbon. To me, it's a very drinkable 100 proof bourbon. Sometimes 100 proof can be, to me 100 proof is perfect. 80 is too low, 120 is too high. This is perfect for me.
It's got some oak to it, which is good. Honey's not super strong.
No, since it's rye forward, it's not going to be super.
Yeah.
It's not going to be super sweet. And
I like it. It's pretty good.
This is one of my all-time favorites.
It tastes like what?
I got a Four Roses small batch, and I didn't care for it. I don't remember what mash bill that one is, but I definitely like the single barrel more.
It tastes like it's pretty standardized.
Yeah.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, I think I said the first time I recorded this. To me, this almost is like an Eagle Rare to me, where it's it's the epitome of what I want in a bourbon. It's nothing super amazing.
Yeah.
It's more complex than a lot of cheaper ones, but it's kind of right in the middle. Even the price of it, I can't remember exactly the price of it, but it's right in the middle too. It's not a cheap bourbon. It's not an expensive top shelf.
I like it. I would give this, having it a second time, I think I rated it a little bit higher last time. I think I would give this a 6. Simply because they've done a good job doing the job. But there's nothing like wow factor for me. But I think it's a 6. And then I love the bottle. I think the bottle is
it's a good looking bottle.
Gorgeous.
I like the rose pattern.
It's a good shape. Got the roses.
It's got an actual cork,
which I think is kind of cool.
I love when companies use an actual cork, and I like the wood actually fits over top of the bottle. I think it's great. It's
a good bottle.
Yep.
Good bourbon.
All right, so let's get into the Modern Samurai class. So
absolutely,
we've known Scott Jedi for quite. I've known for quite a few years. We'll meet at shows, stuff like that. He's been a Neomag user for quite a long time.
Yeah, right.
And that's kind of where I met him over the years. Is just talking to him on social media, seeing him at shows like OTOA that he's instructed at for a while. So we finally got able to hook up with him and go see him at a class up in not in Cleves. This was at C4.
Yeah, right.
Which is Madison, Ohio. So on the first day, so it was a 3-day class.
Right.
3 full days. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, they were full.
Each day driving home, we're just kind of zombies from all the information we did, all the shooting we did. So
the weather.
The one thing I did kind of want to preface with is that on the first day, we all sat in a classroom for maybe an hour. It was pretty short, and Scott kind of gave us a synopsis of the class, introduced him and the other instructor that was with him, and then he went around the class and asked each person what our main thing is that we wanted to learn in that class.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said?
I said that I wanted to increase my draw, the overall draw, but I wanted to get the gun consistently out of my pants and on target the same way every time.
Yeah. And I was similar in the fact that I was pretty happy with the speed that I could get my gun out, but then once I got the gun out, I wanted to get my dot on target faster so that I could do things like a bill drill fast.
Mm-hmm.
Bill drill is recoil control, being able to pull the trigger fast. But the first thing you got to do before you do that is be able to get your dot on target, and so you can shoot a tight group.
You don't want me doing this, then shooting all your bill.
I mean, I could start shooting out of the holster and get 6 shots off fast, but getting them in an A zone at 7 yards in 1.5 seconds or whatever is you got to have your dot. So I had said that I really wanted to be able to find my dot as fast as possible, and so anyway, so we each wrote down our 3 things that we took away from the class.
Yeah, and we have some duplicates, kind of.
We did. I think our 1 and 2 we share.
I'm gonna start with the way to say it is the power of the left hand, but specifically I want to talk about how Scott uses his pinky, and now I use my pinky to finish the presentation. And that little bit of a finish, kind of, I'm going to put my thumbs up so you can see it, kind of drops down the gun, and that drops your dot in right into place. So after you're done with your presentation, your pinky pressure, which also helps mitigate recoil, does a bit more to just bloop, and drop that dot right down. That's one of the things. You had something to do with the left hand too.
Yeah, my thing was really the strength of left hand over strength of right hand.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
So, we've been taught correct grip for years. We've been we've been gripping a gun correctly for a long time.
Yeah.
However, there's some nuance there's some tweaks to make your grip work better for shooting a red dot.
Right.
And that really was the base of the entire weekend. If you got that, so he talks about the power of your left hand should be gripping 100%. He said he thinks of it as think of 100% and 0%. Now obviously you're going to grip with your right hand, but just mentally that's that's what you're thinking is relax your right hand. And the reason you're going to do that is try gripping your hand as hard as possible, and then moving your trigger finger as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It's a lot. You're going to move that.
It's jerky.
You're going to move that trigger finger a lot faster if your hand's relaxed than if it's grip tight. So that's kind of thought process. And like you said, then using your pinky to really grip hard and drop that. And honestly, just doing this, if I just kind of put my hands out soft like this, and then I grip hard, you can watch my hands drop.
Yeah.
You can watch my hand drop straight down. And so if you grip with both hands, then things start getting torquey and stuff. So grip with your left hand, extra emphasis on pinky grip, and you'll watch your dot just drop straight down. And then he had some other things about gripping and with your left hand when you come out, gripping on and sliding your left hand down. It's all based around getting your dot to drop from the top.
You really got to experience that part of the class too. That's it's interesting. He goes around with a Sharpie marker and kind of gives you a reference plane, and it's pretty cool to
you aren't going to learn anything from us talking about this right now. You need to take the class really to learn about it. What you are going to learn from this is that even if you are an experienced shooter, been shooting for a long time like us and are well instructed like us, you are still going to go to a class like this, and it's going to change. It's going to change things for the better, which it did for us.
And Greg said correct grip earlier. Like we had a correct grip, but what I've really learned from this class is that there is no such thing as a correct grip, and Scott's grip may be the best grip right now until somebody else comes up with a better grip later. Because as we've been in this industry for a long time, I've seen a proper grip, little things change. They call it a proper grip, but it's now I learn a better grip. Every single time I learn a new little piece of that puzzle to make recoil control better and stuff. I really like that aspect of that.
And that kind of brings me into the second point. So that kind of brings me into the second point, because I was going to say Scott uses a lot of body mechanics. So don't worry, we're not recording anything here.
Do not disturb apparently does not mean do not disturb.
So Scott uses a lot of body mechanics. His history has to do a lot with jiu-jitsu and taekwondo and all sorts of things. So he's very body mechanics aware, and so even when it comes down to your grip, using your body mechanics for your grip. So one of the things I wanted to demo for everybody, and you can try this at home, is with body mechanics is the power of your eyes and where you're looking.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
And then your strength. All right, so do you want me to?
You do the arms. All right. So
okay, so I'm going to look straight at you, and I'm going to hold my arm out. You're going to try to push
down.
And you can push.
He's got a lot of power there. I'm not being gentle.
Yeah, he's pushing.
All right.
All right. So now I'm going to look at your hat.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go down. And I'm not pushing any harder than I was before.
And I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Like I'm not going to use 2 fingers, but he's giving it some effort.
Yeah.
Now look down.
Now I'm going to look down at your shirt.
Right. And then if I try and push him up, I can just. It's
just
fantastic.
Just the difference between looking here, and here is the difference between having strength and not having strength.
And it is exaggerated too. If he were to look at the ceiling, he'd have even less power.
It's even worse. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So he uses things like that to demonstrate how the body works and using body mechanics to your advantage to shoot better, using foot placement. We all know that grip sights trigger has nothing to do with your feet. However, you can use your body mechanics to help not overextend on a transition or something like that.
And that certainly was very helpful to us.
Yeah.
I have another one, a new one, that I didn't even write down. So one of the things, it's been a month or so since we've taken this class, a little over a month. And one of the things that has stuck with me that he talks about is punching your gun out of its holster. And I didn't think as much of it when we were in the class. And as I started thinking about it more and more, it's kind of grown into a theory of something that I was doing wrong that I now do correct. Because I was trying to figure out what I changed with my draw because it significantly increased in speed. And one of the things that I've learned is I now punch my gun out of the holster, meaning I utilize the system in which my gun is resting on to rebound the gun out of the holster. So I come down, instead of just grabbing the gun and pulling it, I come down with enough power to use the general elasticity of my clothes and belt to pop the gun out. And that really does help with speed.
Yeah.
And one of the things I didn't really understand before I took the class.
Yeah.
So.
Now using mechanics of your clothing and your holster and holster connection.
The whole setup.
Like the alias on a good belt, on a good gun belt, is going to make your draw faster and more consistent. And then the last thing I had, and this is where we each had a different thing, so you guys are going to get a total of 4 good points here. The last thing I had that he talked about day one in the classroom is surplus of skill. And this is something I've been saying for years, just differently. So when we post a video on our social media, on YouTube of us shooting, we might be working around a car, we might be doing 1R1s, we might be doing grip stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, every single time, get somebody commenting, basically, why bother practicing that? That skill is not going to, that individual skill is not going to be the thing that's going to save your life or whatever. My response has always been, why not have multiple tools in your toolbox? Why not be able to get your gun out and put an accurate round on sub-second? Why not have the ability to do that?
I wouldn't
sure,
want to be able to do that.
It might not be something that's going to save you in the streets.
Sure.
It's pretty rare of all the videos I can think of, I can see, where a sub-second draw has been the thing that saved somebody, or they didn't have a sub-second draw, so they got killed.
Absolutely.
However, what if you need a 2-second draw, but you're capable of a 1-second draw?
2-second draw?
2-second draw is easy at that point.
We shot a video that we never published of us doing a 2 seconds on target. And we were able to do it from like almost 100-something yards away.
I think we went to 50, and we were able to get...
And it's not a small target. Like, we're talking the Neomag box target. So if we can do that in 2 seconds, there's a way big surplus of skill shooting something at 5 feet.
Yeah. And then think about taking a skill set that you can do flat range, your target's not shooting back at you and all that stuff. Now put yourself under stress. Needing to get a gun out in 2 seconds is going to be easier for you under stress if you practice 1 second draw.
Yeah, and while making mental decisions. Yeah.
Shoot, no shoot, what do I need to do?
Right.
Look,
do I need to draw my gun?
Do I need to pull the trigger? All these things. So practicing beyond a skill level of what you're going to need. It's not like a NFL field goal kicker only practices 30-yard field goals. No. They're back at 60 yards, giving everything they can to try to get a good shot on their kickoff. So
I like it.
Yeah. So surplus of skill is one of the things they talk about. Is yes, a lot of these skill sets are not going to be completely applicable to a self-defense scenario. However, if you can do these things, then when you need a skill set, what you're going to need, hopefully, is going to be easy.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest
surplus
thing.
of skill.
Surplus of
Super
skill.
cool. And then I had one more. Scott kind of gave me a different way of looking at how I conceal a gun. Like, I kind of knew how to conceal a gun, but I didn't know why what I was doing was working. I just did the old, okay, let's see how it looks. Look in the mirror, look sideways, I don't see anything. And he kind of explained something that I should have been smart enough to figure out on my own. But when someone tells you, you're like, I knew this. So one thing he explained was how your shirt drapes from your chest to whatever else is here. If that's your belly, it's your belly. If it's your gun handle, it's your gun handle. If it's not, so it comes to the thing that's furthest out. So if it drapes to, say, your belt, because your belt is further out than your handle of your gun, all of a sudden you're going to see pecs and belt, and then there's just going to be a blank space between it. And so
that's why women, who by the way have breasts,
they do,
big fan, are able to conceal things.
Heck yeah.
Whatever they want under that shirt, especially if it blouses off the breast straight down, you can conceal whatever you want into there. So
mini Uzi, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
He's exactly right. So like the claw pushing the belt out helps you conceal the larger guns because that pushes the belt further out, so your shirt drapes against the belt and not against the handle of your gun. And I didn't really understand that until I took the class.
Well, because I think we think about what can I do to push things in? What can I do to push a gun in using a wing, using things?
Yeah.
We don't really think about what can I do, not only push a gun in, but also maybe give an advantage out somewhere that's not your gun in order to help conceal. So that's I agree.
One of the biggest advantages of the alias system, and I didn't even realize it until we went to the class. So it's pretty cool.
We knew that the system did it, but we hadn't really
didn't understand why.
Put words to it, which is the alias system puts your holster clip, your holster everything on the inside of the belt instead of your holster being up against the belt with the clip on the outside. Well, putting everything on the inside of the belt looks like you're pushing your belt out. Well, now the last thing your shirt touches is a belt instead of your gun.
Isn't that fantastic?
It's great.
So yeah, go take the Modern Samurai Project class. Scott is a great instructor.
Yes.
And the class was in my top all-time 3 classes.
Yeah, I will.
Maybe the top class because I'm coming off the high still.
I will take this class again.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm still. There was nothing that we did in the class that we're like, yep, got this. We're good to go. We've spent.
Yeah. Zeroing.
We probably shot a couple thousand rounds after the class, working on the things that we learned in the class. I'm still trying to kick old habits on grip and draw and work on. I'm still working on my goal of being able to see a dot as fast as possible. I can see it faster, absolutely.
100%. In the class.
But still not to the speed that I want to be able to do, based on what I see Scott do and some other shooters be able to shoot as fast as they do, as fast out of the holster and as fast as they do pulling a trigger.
Yeah.
I'm not a super fast trigger puller. I can get a gun out fast. I want to be able to get a dot on target, and then the next thing is I'm still gripping both hands as hard as possible.
Right. He doesn't have the super fast trigger, which.
Some days.
Yeah.
Some draws.
Yeah. Some days you shoot 15 splits. Other days it's
22s.
Yeah. That's what you got.
Yep. So I hope this helps you guys out. Highly recommend Scott. You can go check out his website. I'll put his website down below. Check out his social media, and go take a class. They sell out really fast. I think he's definitely sold out for the rest of this year, I believe. But go look and see if he's going to be in your area and if he has anything open. And let him know that you found out about his class or that you're taking it because of us.
Because that gives us friendship points, and friendship points make the gun world go around.
That's true. All right, bud. Good talk, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm empty.
If I just squirted it out.
Can you imagine getting bourbon sprayed in your eye, like whiskey getting sprayed in your eyes?
No.
Oh.
I couldn't. Just even the laughter, when you laugh and spit stuff out.
Yeah.
I will burn so bad.
Yeah, spit take on
a spit
somebody's
take with
face
bourbon
with whiskey.
Nope.
Yep.
Hard pass. No thanks. Cool. Hey, that was a pretty good episode.